Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT AI to create BDD Gherkin scenarios that will help you with your test automation. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos like this. Now, let's get started. First, you need to have an account with OpenAI and understand the basics of using ChatGPT. If you need help setting up an account, check my previous video on how to create a ChatGPT account. Remember, never share proprietary or sensitive user or customer data with ChatGPT. Always ensure requirements are cleansed before submitting. You want to set up ChatGPT to be a QA expert. Start a new chat with ChatGPT and enter the prompt provided in the video description. This will configure ChatGPT as a QA expert in behavioral-driven development who will create well-constructed Gherkin scenarios from supplied requirements. Copy your story's requirements and paste them into ChatGPT. You may want to use an example template to help ChatGPT get it right the first time. The templates should include the feature component, a background of the product's description, the user story, as well as the requirement. Review your responses. Remember, you are still the real expert. You may need to have ChatGPT redo the output if something doesn't look quite right. Some common ways to refine your results are requesting a redo according to your setup instructions, asking the output to be revised as full Gherkin code, asking to include or add missing scenarios, and keep refining the output by providing more information and context about the scenarios until you're satisfied with the results. Then the last thing you want to do is you want to copy the structure that ChatGPT has given you into your feature file for your framework. Once you're happy with the results, copy the best response from ChatGPT and paste it into your framework's feature file and reformat as you need to. And use the feature file name suggested by ChatGPT or create your own. Now let's go through a real-life example. I'll enter an initial prompt and revise the output, and then that can be copied to a feature file. So, the first thing you want to do is to let ChatGPT know that it is now a QA expert. What I've done is created a prompt to say just that to ChatGPT. So I'm going to copy this across and explain to you what I'm saying in the prompt. So, I've said to ChatGPT, act as a quality analyst who is highly experienced in behavioral-driven development and developing well-constructed Gherkin scenarios from supplied requirements. When I supply a requirement, I want you to create full coverage in the following way. So, point 1. Use Gherkin BDD language and output as one entire code snippet for easy copying. Provide positive and negative scenarios. Ensure all steps you create are added as a Gherkin background. Ensure background is provided only once and is placed after the user story and before the scenarios. Ensure all variables are created as a Gherkin scenario outline. Ensure variables are added to the Gherkin examples table appropriately. Include feature-level tags and scenario-level tags, like valid, invalid, feature example, smoke test, or regression test. Provide feature and user story. Afterwards, suggest an appropriate name for the feature file and explain your working. Do not assume any output like error messages or variables not part of the requirements. Before you answer, I want you to do the following. If you have any questions about my task or uncertainty about delivering the best expert scenarios possible, always ask bullet point questions for clarification before generating your answer. Is that understood and are you ready for the requirements? So ChatGPT has responded and said, yes, I understand your requirements and I'm now ready to proceed. Please provide me with the requirements that you want me to create full coverage for. So what I've done is I've got some nicely created scenarios here. I've just asked ChatGPT, just for this example, to give me a requirement that may be used for building a website's login page. So it's given me 5 different examples here. So let's just take the top one. The login page must allow registered users to log in securely using the unique credentials, like using the username, email, and password. So let's copy that across. Now let's paste our requirement into our ChatGPT prompt and see what kind of expert results we get back. Remember, it's not perfect the first time, so we'll just see what we get as a result. So that's good to see. So far we're seeing the output as a code snippet, which is perfect. And we've got some examples and some working that ChatGPT's done for us. So let's have a look and read through this. So we've said as our requirement, the login page must allow registered users to log in securely using their unique credentials. And it's just said here, username, email, and password. So it's responded and said, here's a Gherkin scenario that covers the requirement. So great, it's given us a feature level tag. It's also created the feature name, login functionality, and it's come up with a user story according to the requirement. So as a registered user, I want to be able to log in securely using my unique credentials so that I can access my account and its features. We've also got a smoke test, it's decided, and it's a valid result. So this is a positive scenario. It's using scenario outline because we've got an examples table, which is excellent. Successful login with valid credentials. Given the user is on the login page, when the user enters their username, email, and their password and clicks the login button, then, as our expected outcome, the user should be redirected to the home page and see a welcome message that includes their name. So that's great. So ChatGPT has just given us a little bit of an example of where we'd be redirected to because we haven't told it that. And it's also saying here that they'll see their name. So you could change that into what your own requirements are for what you're building. So we've got here username, email, and password because it's got the variable prompts here. So it's got 2 logins. It's using a John Doe login and a Jane Smith login, and both of their passwords are just password. So obviously you're not going to use this exactly how you get the results back from ChatGPT. You would take this and update it to more proprietary information inside your test framework if you wanted to. Regression test it's got here, it's decided. So, I mean, you can take these tags as you like, but it's just giving you examples. Scenario outline again, because it's using an example table in Gherkin format. So this time it's failed login with invalid credentials. So again, given the user is on the login page, when the user enters username, email, and password and clicks on the login button, then the user should see the error message indicating invalid credentials. So that's great. So what we've got here is we're using an invalid email, maybe the @ sign's missing or the full stop after the @ sign. We've got here John Doe with a wrong password, so we would set that up to start with and make sure that John Doe is not using the password that actually correctly logs them in. And then at the bottom here, we've got background. So for readability, we like normally to have the background at the top. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT that because I want my background to be after my feature, right at the top, because the background is what runs every time. So given the user has a registered account and the user has navigated to the login page, then the scenario runs. So this runs for every scenario inside the feature file. And remember I asked in our prompt setup for ChatGPT to explain its working. So it's saying here it's got positive and negative test cases, covering both successful and failed logins. The common steps involved in the login process are added to the background section. Great. And it's got some variables there, and it said that it's created a scenario outline with examples for that. And we've included the feature and scenario level tags as per requirement. And we've provided a feature and a user story, so that's great. As for the file name, we could call it login.feature. So remember, in the prompt I asked it to give me an example of what I could call the feature file when I build that into my framework. So it's looking good, but let's just say it's not exactly how we want it, and we'd like ChatGPT to maybe update slightly to help give us a better starting point. So let's say the background should be at the top. Thank you for the clarification. In that case, background section should be added to the top of the feature file. So it's just updated the feature file with background at the top. And that's been fixed up for us. So again, you might want to change this around. I'd normally put the user story directly under the feature, and then move background to below the user story. So this is looking good. I'm happy with that. And look, I mean, it's not witchcraft or black magic, but it's really amazing to actually get your bare bones and essentials on starting out the structure of your feature files, and let ChatGPT do that heavy lifting for you. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you. And that's it. Now you know how to use ChatGPT AI to create BDD Gherkin scenarios for test automation. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow testers. If you have any questions or need further clarification, feel free to leave a comment below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.